Newsmakers.
City News.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios at number 11 Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka, Accra. The news is live across the globe on citinewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook and CityTube on YouTube. I am Wilma Obuobi-Sakoman and this afternoon I'm here with
Hawa Idrisu Mustafa.
Coming up, Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources directs MMDAs to impose surcharges on waste collectors who fail to promptly collect refuse in various communities.
The service providers that my car has broken down, my driver is sick and all that. There should be a provision in the bylaw to surcharge them if they don't clear the refuse on time.
Also coming up, woodworkers and business operators at Sokoban Wood Village in the Ashanti region lament the deteriorating security situation in the area, which is severely affecting their operations.
Some of the robberies are highly sophisticated and they are unable to match them. Although we have made case with the Asukwa Divisional Command, they've assured us of taking care of that situation.
And still ahead, management of the Kolobu Teaching Hospital attributes increase in cost of dialysis to the rise in price of consumables.
Yeah, patient cannot pay. Go even 380 something Ghana cedis. When you can, even the machine said there's no reagent there. When you go there, they say they are doing only emergency.
And later, companies gear up for the biggest corporate sports event, the Citi Business Olympics, which comes off this Saturday, September 30 at Eden Heights.
Why don't we also partner Citi FM so that at least we also share our 35th anniversary celebrations with them? So this year, we are coming fully. We are not just coming to participate, we are coming for the trophy.
Stay tuned as we bring you details of all that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is also live across the country on a number of affiliate stations. In the Western region, we're live on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM, both in Takoradi. In the Bono region, we're on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyang. In the Ashanti region, we're live on Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Eastern region, this is right 90.1 FM in Somanya. In the Volta region, we're on Holy 98.5 FM in Aplao. In the Northern region, we're on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East, this is Word 88.3 FM in Zuarungu. And in the Upper West region, we're on Bugli Radio 88.6 FM in Wa.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. The Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources in Ghana is urging municipal assemblies to impose surcharges on waste collectors who fail to promptly collect or delay in collecting refuse in various communities. This decision follows the sector minister's recent visit to inspect sanitation issues in certain areas after heavy rains. The minister, Frida Prempe, believes that imposing surcharges on waste collectors is a necessary measure to ensure timely waste collection and to hold them accountable for their responsibilities.
We cannot always sit back for government to look for money to evacuate refuse, to cut refuse, to drill drains, to drag drains to the silt gutters. We have to change our attitude. And this refuse you see behind me, it's under the purview of the assembly. They have signed contracts with private service providers, and they're supposed to ensure that the private service providers clear and collect the garbage. This garbage is not just 1 day old. I believe it's about 2 weeks old. And we should not sit back as an assembly and take excuses from the service providers that my car has broken down, my driver is sick and all that. There should be a provision in the bylaw to surcharge them if they don't pick the If they don't clear the refuse on time, there should be searcher. We should not find extra money that will be used to build kindergartens for these young people to clear refuse. So the assemblies, yes, as a ministry, will collaborate with you. But we want to send the word out there that all these refuse, all these water, like we see, is under the purview of the assembly.
The Sanitation Minister also expressed her willingness to engage in discussions regarding the establishment of specialized environmental courts aimed at enhancing the efficiency of prosecuting sanitation-related offences.
I don't think it's just about delayance at the courts because they all have so many issues to deal with. Well, the advocacy is still on. That's the thought of other people. But I believe together as a ministry and as the Regional Coordinating Council and the assemblies, we should be able to put our heads together and ensure that the right things are. If I believe that we have these beautiful bylaws, if we enforce our bylaws, we'll not be even be taking people to the sanitation courts. So we have to start from the basics. We have to start from where the problem is coming from. That is the gap. And once you've been able to identify the gap, you should find ways and means to solve it. So if you're able to talk to people, if you're able to dialogue, if you're able to tell them the reason why they should clean the environment, if we're able to enforce our bylaws. I have been an assemblywoman before. We have very beautiful bylaws, but the bylaws are not being enforced. And some, I must say, some of our own people at the assembly are part of the problem. They are part of the problem because when you ask them to go and demolish a structure, they say people will pass by and go and give them prior information that tomorrow we'll be coming here, do this or do that. When you write on their walls, they go and inform them. There are sometimes people start building in waterways and they decide to write stop work. So that when you are passing by, you think there is assembly that has written stop work on it. So you just pass by, they continue to build in the night. So I think that we have to do our part of the job. We have to educate our people. We have to enforce our bylaws. We have to make sure the right thing is done. As for the sanitation courts, we can still continue the dialogue.
You heard the Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources, Frida Prempe.
The Engineering Council is cautioning the public against engaging uncertified professionals and craftsmen for building purposes. This warning follows a recent building collapse in Ofanko, Accra, which was captured on video. The incident has prompted the council and other stakeholders to investigate. Isaac Badu, the registrar of the Engineering Council, tells Citi News it is important for individuals to register with their respective professional bodies before practicing. He warned that those who do not comply may face penalties.
There is an act which regulates the practice of engineering in Ghana. And by that, any engineer who you engage to do any work for you should be licensed. So if the person is not licensed, then you have no business working with the person. So we want to entreat the general public that if you want to engage an architect to do a design for you, if you want to engage an engineer to do a design for you, that engineer should be licensed by the regulatory body, which is the Engineering Council or the Architectural Council.
So how do you ensure that people who are not members in good standing are supervised?
We don't work alone. You know, the assemblies also have a role to play. Okay. So the assemblies are the ones who are the first point of call. If anybody wants to, let's take the building industry, construct a facility. They have to go for a permit from the assembly. And the assembly is supposed to scrutinize and make sure that whoever is doing the design is licensed, whether he's an architect or he's an engineer.
Okay.
So that is the first point of call. If that person is not licensed, then the assembly doesn't have any duty to approve that permit. And they can go ahead even to take that person on, to report that person so that we can take the person on.
You heard the registrar of the Engineering Council, Isaac Badu.
The Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications has expressed concern about the rise in mobile money fraud in the country. They have noted that fraudsters are using new and diverse methods to defraud customers and have urged customers to be aware of their tactics. One of the methods being employed is the use of Ghana cards belonging to innocent victims to register new SIM cards, which are then used for fraudulent activities. The Chamber CEO, Engineer Dr. Kenashibe, assured that measures are being put in place to address the issue of mobile money fraud and reduce its prevalence.
Very recently, people have been using ECG meters.
to defraud people. So what are we doing? What we've done is that now the IGP has called a meeting together of all the telcos, all the banks, and then he's working on a plan, a concerted plan. Because already, as the Chamber of Telecommunication, we have a platform called the FCD, where if anybody defrauds you, anybody steals your device, and you report it, the telco in particular would investigate. If they find it to be true, they would block the person. We are now liaising with the cybercrime unit. We report to the person will deal with the person. We don't only do that. After blocking the person, they put it on the FCD platform. And then you are blocked. So they'll block your SIM, they'll block your device as well. And now with the partnership with the IGP, those people, and because now we have the Ghana card, we now will be able to arrest. But the unfortunate thing that we need to advise all the people are, now what the fraudsters are doing is that because they know they need to get a Ghana card, they see people who are walking around, then they come to you, and then they come and give you some 10 CDs. They use people's IDs to go and register these SIMs, and then they use them to do the fraud. So please, we beg you, don't allow anybody to use your Ghana card to register any SIM card. When you do that, you are putting yourself at risk.
Engineer Dr. Kenashibe is Chief Executive Officer for the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications.
And wood workers and business operators in the Sokoban Wood Village have voiced their concerns about the deteriorating security situation in the area. They have highlighted the lack of adequate street lighting, which they believe emboldens criminals and contribute to robberies and thefts in the area. These wood workers are calling on the authorities such as the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly and the Ghana Police Service to enhance security measures and address criminal activities that are negatively affecting their businesses and livelihood. Abubakar Halifa is the coordinator for the Sokoban Wood Village Workers Association.
We are having an issue with security. Although we have our own private securities here, but the private securities don't have access to guns, okay? And so sometimes they are having challenges. Some of the robberies are highly sophisticated and they are unable to match them. Although we have made case with the Asukwa Divisional Command, they've assured us of taking care of that situation. So we are only pleading to the government to assist us in that direction to make sure that the security has improved here in order for us to have our businesses running on smoothly. At night, there are neighborhoods across the enclave. And so sometimes at night, when people are passing through the market to their neighborhoods, some of these robbers accost them and then they took over their monies and other belongings. So these are issues that came before us. And those were the reason why we're also pleading with the state authorities to assist us in that direction.
Abubakar Halifa is the coordinator for the Sokoban Wood Village Workers Association. And reacting to the concerns of the wood workers, the mayor of Kumasi, Samuel Pine, assured of measures to help address the issue of security at the wood village.
Yeah, this is the first time that they mentioned it. When they talked about the lighting systems last year that went to fix, this year they've not told us anything of that sort. Even last 2 weeks, we had a meeting with the leadership of the operators there, and the management of that facility has not informed us of anything. But once this has come to my attention, quickly we are going to mobilize and work on that. We've been looking at making the place livable for them. They talked about their lighting system, of which I directed the electrical department to do comprehensive work. I followed up myself, and we installed lots of lightings within the Wood Village enclave. And therefore, it's not a neglected piece. We are working on that, and I know. Yes, we had upon resources, yes, but with the little that we have, we're making sure that things work well.
That was the mayor of Kumasi, Samuel Pine.
The wife of a businessman allegedly murdered in his home at Lashibi in Accra is appealing to the Ghana Police Service to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the circumstances surrounding her husband's tragic demise. According to Mrs. Rebecca Osei-Tutu, she received the distressing news of the incident last month. The lifeless body of Augustine Osei-Tutu, aged 51, was discovered in his room bearing a disturbing cut on his forehead. As of now, there is very limited information regarding the circumstances of his death. The wife firmly believes that a determined and thorough police inquiry will ultimately unveil the truth behind the death.
I saw that there was a lot of missed calls from Ghana and missed calls from London as well. Most of it was his friends calling me. So I called one of them back, what is going on? Because I was thinking maybe normally when they call and they don't get him, they intend to call me to find out if it's okay. So I was thinking it was the same thing. So I called one of them and then he said to me, I said, why are you giving me Imahoyako? So you haven't heard? So I said, heard what? And he was telling me the story that my husband was murdered in the house. So at that time, I just couldn't take it. So I phoned my sister-in-law to find out whether it's true or maybe I'm dreaming. So my sister-in-law told me that it's true. All I can appeal to them is they should do whatever they can to help my husband get justice. That's all. I need their help to help me to find justice for my husband.
You heard wife of a businessman allegedly murdered at his home at Lashibi in Accra.
The Sohom Police Command is currently on a manhunt for a 22-year-old Okada rider who is alleged to have poisoned his 17-year-old girlfriend at Kransan in the Sohom municipality of the Eastern region. The suspect, known as Akoko, had a romantic relationship with the deceased, who had recently completed her junior high school education. The girl became pregnant, and when the suspect asked her to terminate the pregnancy, she refused. On Monday, the suspect took the girl on his motorcycle, and a short while later, community members found her lifeless body with foam coming from her mouth. Her body has been deposited at the Sohom Government Hospital morgue. Police are currently searching for the suspect in connection with this tragic incident.
Still with the police in Sohom, officers are currently investigating a fatal road accident that occurred in Apietu on the main Accra-Kumasi highway. A 45-year-old driver collided with a stationary cargo truck using his Sprinter bus. It is unclear at this time whether the accident was caused by driver fatigue or a mechanical fault. The accident took place on a Tuesday morning and resulted in the death of one person, while another person sustained injuries. The Sohom Municipal MTTD Accident Prevention Squad responded to the scene to control traffic, assist with rescue efforts, and transport the injured and the deceased to the Sohom Government Hospital for further examination and investigation. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still to come in the bulletin, management of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital have attributed the increase in cost of dialysis to the rise in price of consumables. Stay with us. We'll bring you details of the story and others shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
The Citi Business Olympics 2023 is drawing closer and closer. Unleash your inner champion at the Citi Business Olympics 2023. Join us for the ultimate corporate sports gathering, where teams will battle it out for glory. From thrilling challenges to intense competitions, this is your chance to showcase your skills and bring home the trophy. Don't miss the chance to network with your colleagues and other professionals and experience the thrill of victory. The Citi Business Olympics 2023 will be competitive and exciting. To register your company to participate, call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973 now. Which company will emerge as champion and which CEO will win the Ultimate CEO's Challenge at the Citi Business Olympics 2023? We'll find out on the 30th of September 2023. Venue, Eden Heights Sports Complex. Wager, time 8 a.m. The Citi Business Olympics 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Lozati Lozenges from Unicom Chemist Limited, EK Brand Consult, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, Holland Insurance, Voltec Ghana Limited, Fan Yogo, and Universal Motors.
Are you faced with this challenge and will want to learn more about automobile maintenance to avoid such frustrating moments? Tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. on 97.3 Citi FM as we bring you the solutions to all your automobile problems on the Total Energies Auto Show, proudly sponsored by Total Energies Ghana.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, has issued an immediate recall for all shipments of Beltocin and Venitocin injections imported by Hales Pharmacy and Alpha Dio Pharma Limited, respectively. This recall follows the identification of discrepancies in laboratory analysis for both injections, with several batches failing to meet established quality standards. Healthcare facilities, medical stores, and pharmacies that have these medical products in their inventory have been instructed to cease the administration and arrange for their return to their respective suppliers and importers. Head of Enforcement Directorate at the FDA, Vigil Edward Pra-Eshun, spoke to Citi News on the recall.
First release is in connection with two drugs, Beltocin and Venitocin. These are drugs basically used to induce lift. It increases the frequency and intensity of the uterus and it's also to prevent excessive bleeding. But what we have seen is that these two drugs, in the last three sampling exercises that we done, they've been given a inconsistent form. Sometimes a batch will pass the lab analysis, and another time the same batch will fail, which is not supposed to be so. So we decided to recall these two products and also send officers to the manufacturing facilities to do a thorough investigation to find out what causes. Then, if need be, we decide to either continue doing business with them or to deregister them.
That was the head of Enforcement Directorate at the FDA, Vigil Edward Pra-Eshun.
The management of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital has explained that the increase in the cost of dialysis treatment for patients with kidney diseases is due to the rise in the price of consumables. The cost has gone up from 380 cedis to 765 cedis. There is more in this report filed by Citi News' Ino Safo.
A notice by the head of the dialysis unit at the center has announced an increment in the cost of dialysis treatment. The price has risen from 380 Ghana cedis to 765.42 Ghana cedis. This announcement has received mixed reactions from the public.
I heard that they have increased the dialysis. And what I can say is that even the 380 Ghana cedis, they can't afford. And today you can see that 700 and something Ghana cedis, then people are going to die. Because when you look at the situation, even for Kolebu to even do some subsidy on this dialysis is possible. Yeah, patient cannot pay. Go even 380 something Ghana cedis. When you can, even the machine, there's no reagent there. When you go there, they say they are doing only emergency. So people are dying. People are dying. So now it's 700 and something. How can they pay with this economy?
And if you read the notice, the indication is that the price had moved from the current point to almost 700 Ghana cedis. In fact, in excess of 700 Ghana cedis. I got alarmed by that particular notice because I know people who go for dialysis sometimes 3 times in a week, and they need to do that plus or minus 12 times in a month. And so if the person needs to do it 12 times in a month and he hasn't to pay in excess of 700 cedis per session, just do a simple calculation. That's huge. You need to have dose of income or money to be able to sustain that. So I felt that that's effectively Kolebu Teaching Hospital signing the death sentence of persons who go to Kolebu for dialysis. I found that as well, that it is the exchange rate that is creating the bigger problem there. But I have said that against the life of individuals, if there is any way, is it possible that National Health Insurance can even intervene? Is it possible? So that we can look at all the scenarios, the possibility of National Health Insurance getting involved to, as it were, to minimize the impacts on persons who go for their dialysis every week.
According to the hospital, they have met with the patients privately to discuss the fees. In addition to the increment in dialysis treatment, the hospital has resumed its routine operations at the dialysis center. This positive development comes after the hospital received a much-needed consignment of renal consumables. Previously, the center had to temporarily close down due to a shortage of the medication required for renal dialysis. Mustafa Salifu, the public relations officer of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, explains that the treatment interruption occurred due to contractual issues with the supplier.
We had some contractual issues with the suppliers of the consumables that we use to do the renal dialysis. And that caused some delay in getting the consumables imported into the country for services to our patients. But thankfully, last week, we took delivery of those consumables, and then we are starting to provide the service from today to the patients. In terms of what happened, these are contracts that we usually sign. Sometimes there are contractual issues that you have to discuss with the suppliers so that you get to the point where the possibility of having such issues will be minimized significantly. I think that has been done, and then we hope that going forward, both sides of both parties will work assiduously to avoid this kind of challenge that we had in the past.
Citi News can confirm that the Kolebu Teaching Hospital held a closed-door meeting with dialysis patients to explain to them the reason for the fee increment. And they say that this is to enable them ensure that treatment continues and they will be able to continue to import the renal dialysis that they use in the treatment. For Citi News, my name is Inu Safo.
And back in the studios of Citi FM, I'm Wilma Obobisa-Coleman here with Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. You're listening to the Citi Prime News. We'll go to the northern region where farmers in Nawuni, a community along the White Volta, have expressed excitement over how this year's spillage of the Bagri Dam was managed. They say the controlled manner of the spillage ensured their crops were not affected, as is characteristic of the annual exercise. Some of the farmers say they are optimistic of harvesting their crops this time around without the looming threat of a disaster. Meanwhile, the public relations manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited in the northern region, Ni Abe, says climatic conditions may have accounted for the success recorded this year.
The levels of the water as at Monday has started receding. It used to be above 30 feet. As we speak, we're doing below 30 feet, which means that either the rate of the spillage has dropped, and as a result, it's helping us to have the reduction in levels, and then again, the rate of evaporation has also contributed. We've seen the sun shining within this week, and it's one of the factors. The last point has to do with the volumes of abstraction we are doing. Once we continue to do more abstraction, definitely what it means is that the levels would also be going down the rear that we have. And so these are some of the contributing factors which is accounting for the levels being dropped. Like I said, we are not out of the woods yet, but we'll continue monitoring and we'll continue to give you the daily update.
You had the public relations manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited in the northern region, Ni Abe.
Pressure is mounting on President Akufo-Addo to assent into law a bill that was passed to criminalize the acquisition and branding of people as riches in the country. The demands have been heightened by the alleged shooting of a 60-year-old woman at Janga in the West Mamprusi district of the Northeast region. There is more in this report.
Witchcraft accusations in Ghana is not uncommon.
My last one, she bring me here, and she said that I cut her. I said that, you blind. And look, when your father died, and you are P6, and look everything, and you go to secondary school, and Chaco and everything, and said I'm giving your things, and you will finish there. When the book, everything,
Numerous incidents in the country, especially the lynching of a Dente at Kafaba, pushed some Ghanaian legislators to draft a bill to criminalize the accusation or branding of another as a witch. Almost 2 months after its passage, the bill is yet to receive a presidential assent, which is the final constitutional requirement to make a bill into law. But the practice remains in some parts of the country. On Sunday, September 24, 2023, a 60-year-old woman was shot dead allegedly over accusations of witchcraft in Janga in West Mamprusi district. Legislators who pushed for the passage of the witchcraft bill are not happy with the delay of the president in assenting to the bill. Francis Sosu was the lead sponsor of the private members' bill.
It's quite sad and quite embarrassing, and also very, very frustrating that we get the process this far, and yet we haven't had the presidential assent yet, and the same problem that we seek to resolve, we seem to be having the problem recurring. If this parliament has come this far to pass a bill, I think that the presidency will have to act with some urgency.
The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection is in charge of following up on these cases, including making a case at cabinet meetings for the assent to the bill. Many have criticized the ministry for not living up to its expectations. Francis Sosu thus believes the delay should be blamed squarely on the ministry.
We have the opportunity to take care of our women, have the opportunity to take care of our children, and yet we are really far away from doing that. Even when we have the policies, we are not able to implement them for the benefit of our people. So I think that the ministry is not doing too well when it comes to these matters. And I think that the ministry should seize the opportunity and seize the momentum. Any other woman that dies on account of witchcraft accusation without any action from the ministry, without any action from the presidency, I think the blood of those women must be on the head of the presidency and the ministry.
Citi News' attempt to reach the ministry for a comment have been unsuccessful, but in June this year, the gender minister paid a working visit to Zakbalti, where a man and woman were lynched over witchcraft accusations the month before. The ministry then assured of justice for victims.
We promise that the law will take its own course, whether the case have been reported or not. That's why the police command is here. So definitely, there will definitely be some arrests so that we'll prosecute those who actually caused this heinous crime.
Efforts by the ministry are unsatisfactory at best, some civil society organizations have said. Last year, a number of these CSOs under the Coalition Against Witchcraft Accusations embarked on a series of actions to demand the complete eradication of the menace. One of those CSOs, the Amnesty International Ghana, says they will be pursuing a series of actions to the President and the Gender Ministry to speed up the process. Francis Nyantichi is a board chair and standing rep of Amnesty International Ghana.
We thought that with all the negative, this was one of the positives that we should celebrate. And so for the president to be very quiet, for the Ministry of Gender to be very quiet about this is something that should be worrying to everybody. We don't expect this.
Some Ghanaians have been urging the government to take urgent steps to address the situation.
That ideology is ludicrous, and you can't just define someone as being a witch because of certain signs you've seen and all that. I believe it's a religious thing, but still, you can't really tell. And I think government should really look at this because it should be out way by now. It's not something that should be going on.
After all, doing all these things that affect them, then they later come and accuse innocent people of being witches, which I think it's not the right thing to do. And even if someone is a witch, the person has their right. That is a spiritual issue.
Another woman has been killed in Janga. Now, civil society organizations and members of parliament who are strongly against the accusations of people as witches are calling on the president, who wields the power to assent to the bill that has already been passed by parliament in July this year, to, as a matter of urgency, assent to that bill to ensure that all persons who accuse other people of being witches and take actions against them, including killing them, are brought to justice. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ajwa Tinkrama Domina.
To some other stories, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, has expressed his concern about the extended duration it takes to conclude high-profile criminal cases in Ghana. Speaking at the annual conference of magistrates and judges, he noted that it's unfair for these cases, such as those involving causing financial loss to the state and money laundering, to drag on for years, while similar cases involving ordinary citizens are resolved within 6 months.
And I reflect on cases whose outcomes I personally consider undesirable. Regardless of my own views on the questions being judged in them, I can only come to a conclusion that what we have in this country is a fiercely independent judiciary, which all of us should take pride in. That an aggrieved citizen can go to a court of law and challenge anyone, including decisions of the president and parliament, and be confident that the court will give a decision without fear or favor. But they are only urge the judiciary to ensure that their processes are devoid of undue delays and other inefficiencies. For a robust legal system underpinned by the rule of law goes hand in hand with economic prosperity and bolsters the confidence of the people and deters the perpetration of wrongdoing. A court system in which summary trial of criminal cases can last for more than 5 years militates against the right to a fair trial, defeats the end of justice, and must be looked at again. It is unjust and unfair for so-called high-profile criminal cases involving the summary offenses of fraud, willfully causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering to drag on for years, while similar cases filed against the perceived ordinary members of society are concluded within 6 months to 1 year.
Godfred Yeboah-Dame is Attorney General and Minister of Justice.
Environmental health workers are calling on the government to provide them with the necessary support to effectively carry out their duties. They have raised concerns about inadequate logistics hindering their ability to fulfill their responsibilities. Speaking during the commemoration of Environmental Health Day, Florence Kuchi, the Public Environmental Health Officer at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, stressed the importance of government support in addressing sanitation and other health-related issues.
Today's environmental officer is being neglected by subsequent governments. We've been neglected with infrastructure-wise, logistics-wise, and all the others. Gone were the days when environmental officers were being clothed, and when they are going out, you see them coming in their uniforms because we are field workers. Environmental officer and the police in this country are the only people who can arrest without a warrant. What do we see? The police are always all over wherever we pass. It's because they are in uniform and they are visible. The environmental officers are all over, but nobody sees them because they are not in uniform. So if these important people are there and then they are being neglected, how can we fight environmental health and sanitation issues in the country?
Florence Kuchi is the Metro Public Environmental Health Officer at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly.
This is still the Citi Prime News, broadcasting live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. I am Wilma Wobisa Coleman here with Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Still to come in the bulletin, companies gear up for the biggest corporate sports event, the Citi Business Olympics, which comes off this Saturday, September 30 at Eden Heights. We'll bring you details of this and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
It's the best season of the year. Just in some points, Momo Pay or you say Momo app. Send with ease and win big. You be merchant or you be Momo user. Momo season Abanti send DVR. Send DVR. Momo season Abanti send DVR.
From now till the end of September, earn points when you download the Momo app and make Momo Pay transactions to a merchant via either the QR code or merchant ID and stand the chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. Our merchants are not left out. Receive payment and win. There are lots and lots of exciting prizes to be won. So download the Momo app, transact with Momo Pay and get rewarded this Momo season. TNCs apply.
MTN. Tego Sisters are celebrating 40 years in music on Thursday, October 5 at dinner and the official launch of the Twins and Children Foundation at the Underbridge, East Legon. Red carpet 6 p.m. Special guest of honor President Nana Atudankwa Akufo-Addo on Sunday, October 15 at the Accra International Conference Center. Tego Sisters celebrates their 40th anniversary in music with a gospel explosion concert. Red carpet 4 p.m. Dress code white with a touch of ruby red. Performing artists Ophelia Nyantechi, Pat Thomas, Kwame Eugene, Lola and Lolai, Akwabwa. Tickets are going for VVIP 300 Ghana cedis, premium 200 Ghana cedis and regular 100 Ghana tickets and table reservation. Dial *899 *400 hash or call 0204 484 534. Media partners Citi TV and Citi FM. Powered by Limnat Media Solution and VN Production.
Happy birthday to you.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, the Christian Council of Ghana has condemned the unprofessional conduct of police officers assigned to the Occupy Jubilee House protest last week. The protest resulted in the arrest of 49 people, with some suffering alleged abuses from the officers. The council issued a statement signed by the General Secretary, Reverend Dr. Cyril Fayosi, expressing its concerns and urging the police service to carry out their duties with decorum.
The council views the behavior of the police officers as unethical and a bad reflection on the country's democratic credentials. The reaction of the police to the peaceful protest goes against their mandate to maintain peace, protect life and property, and the dignity of citizens. Their actions do not only taint the country's hard-won international reputation as a bastion of democracy in Africa, but it also infringes on the public rights to assemble and protest peacefully granted under the 1992 Constitution. Inasmuch as the leaders of the Christian Council of Ghana appreciate the efforts of the police service to keep the peace in the country, the service in discharging its duties should not act in a way to be seen as taking away the constitutional rights of citizens. We encourage our service personnel to exercise patience and carry out their duties professionally and in a manner that protects life and property without abusing the rights of citizens to protest.
You had excerpts of a statement released by the Christian Council of Ghana condemning the unprofessional conduct of police officers assigned to the Occupy Jubilee House protest last week.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has warned against the registration of minors on the voter register, stating that such practices are undemocratic and must not be encouraged. He emphasized that allowing minors to register to vote is criminal. Dr. Bawumia made these remarks while touring some voter registration exercise centers in Accra.
Not only criminal to do so, but you are endangering the future of these minors when you register them at this stage. They will enter into our record books at a particular age. When they come to retirement, they will be retired at a very early age, relatively, and you would have destroyed their future for them. And I think that parents should be cognizant of this problem.
He had the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Citi Senior High School has launched its 65th anniversary celebrations in grand style. The Old Students Association of the school organized an event in Accra to herald activities lined up for the celebrations. We'll tell you more in the following report.
The launch of the 65th anniversary celebrations of the Citi Senior High School, SWESCO, took place in Accra over the weekend, with the Deputy Minister in charge of General Education, Reverend Ntim Fojo, gracing the occasion as a special guest. The anniversary itself will be on March 2024. Ahead of that, the Old Student Association of the school, Old Swesconians as they are called, has unveiled the anniversary logo as well as a new crest for the school. The anniversary, which was launched at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, brought together over 30-year groups from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and post-2000-year groups. The Old Swesconians were treated to great music, dance, and a sumptuous dinner.
You are Mr. Big Star. You're never gonna get my love. Reggae dancing, ooh la la la. And boogie.
The head of the civil service, who is also an old student of SWESCO, Dr. Evans Agridaku, launched the anniversary celebrations.
On behalf of all of you, I will want to dedicate this to God and indicate that we launch the 65th anniversary celebration of the Citi Senior High School in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
The theme of the 65th anniversary is Building a Resilient Educational Institution in a Challenging Global Economy, the Gains and Challenges of the SWESCO Journey. At the event, awards were given to some 7 old students who volunteered to give 2 months of extra mathematical lessons to prepare the final year students for WASI.
We thought that on an occasion like this, we should recognize them.
We stand in admiration and gratitude for your remarkable dedication and unwavering commitment to nurturing the mathematical minds of our final year students and extend the citation to honor your exceptional service. And the first, in no particular order, is PSA Patrick Kwesi Inim. Next is PSA Justice Agri. PSA Simon Hoji. Reverend PSA Samuel Hoji.
The report was filed by my colleague Nashika Caesar.
The Ghana Armed Forces has denied reports that it released 114 acres of land reclaimed by the La Traditional Council from the government. According to the Armed Forces, no order has been given for the land in question to be released to the council. The La Traditional Council recently performed traditional rites to signify the reclamation of this land from a Ghana military base in Accra. The Ghana Armed Forces has urged the council to refrain from making public comments that could hinder the resolution of the land issue. Here are excerpts of the statement read by Citi News' Philip Nilate.
The Military High Command wishes to acknowledge that there are ongoing discussions by a committee set up by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to deliberate and recommend possible measures to resolve the land issue. However, the Ghana Armed Forces has not received any directives from the Ministry of Defense, which is our supervising ministry, directing that the land should be released to the La Traditional Council. Neither has any government agency directed the Ghana Armed Forces to release any land to the Traditional Authority. Indeed, those lands remain a critical need of the Ghana Armed Forces for the preservation of state security.
Those were excerpts of a statement from the Ghana Armed Forces on the La lands.
IDP Education, a global student placement organization, is urging Ghanaian youth intending to advance their education abroad to take proactive steps in reaching out to the organization. The International Education Service Provider said it has also integrated Intake Education, which operates student placement business. IDP has branches in Accra and Kumasi and has established connections with more than 850 universities and institutions across the world. Here is Aima Chawi, the IDP Regional Director for Middle East, Africa, European Union and Commonwealth of Independent States, shedding more light on their services.
First and foremost, most importantly, when we talk about international study, we're talking about matching the proper students with the proper institution, right? With the proper course and the proper destination. So it's basically, this is the recipe to success. If you want really to help the students, we need to get the right students to the right university in the right course and the right country. All of this together with the umbrella support that the company is providing throughout this journey, which takes from 12 to 18 months sometimes, when the students start searching for their course, start building their dreams, start applying to get the offer from universities, to apply for a visa and to travel abroad. So we work with them from A to Z. Our footprint today is around 200 offices worldwide in 35 countries. So we are present in many, many, many countries. And we have more than 2,200 expert counselors, expert advisors to provide this service to the students.
Aima Chawi is the IDP Regional Director for the Middle East, Africa, European Union and Commonwealth of Independent States. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News, which is live from our studios here in Adabraka, Accra. We'll go over some stories we've been bringing you so far. And the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources directs MMDAs to impose surcharges on waste collectors who fail to promptly collect refuse in various communities. We also had woodworkers and business operators at Sokobank Wood Village in the Ashanti region, lamenting the deteriorating security situation in the area. They say it is severely affecting their operations. Also, the management of the Kolubu Teaching Hospital, they have attributed the increase in cost of dialysis to rise in price of consumables. We are also live across a number of affiliate stations across the country. We are live in the Western region on Premier 100.5 FM and Beach 105.5 FM, both in Takoradi. Hawa will bring us some other stories.
The Affirmative Action Bill Coalition says it will galvanize support, especially from women, for political parties that demonstrate commitment for the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill. The draft Affirmative Action Bill has not been passed despite several assurances from successive governments to do so. Speaking to Citi News on the sidelines of a dialogue with political parties on the Affirmative Action Bill, convener of the Affirmative Action Bill Coalition, Sheila Minka Premo, indicated the group's goal of encouraging stakeholders to vote for political parties that pledge to prioritize the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill.
Options that can be used, one of which is litigation to compel the government, because this is a requirement. There's a requirement to pass this law in Article 17(4) of the Constitution. It's an initiative I know some women lawyers have considered and maybe planning towards. So it's one of the options. I don't know. I mean, the reality is that the government will indicate that, oh, there's a bill, we are working on it, etc. So in terms of the outcome of that litigation, I can't tell, but it's also an initiative. I think that we need to step up on the advocacy and do a little bit more intense and maybe a little more aggressive advocacy, since there's a draft bill which is in a fairly good state, so that cabinet, that it to be passed within the 8th Parliament. Maybe its implementation may be in the life of the 9th Parliament, because as I said, it would require some consequential amendments to some laws, etc., to ensure that it's fully implemented. But I believe strongly that the 8th Parliament will pass it.
Sheila Minka Premo is convener of the Affirmative Action Bill Coalition.
Now, the Blue Rose Limited, a participating company in the annual Citi Business Olympics, has expressed its determination to win the ultimate competition, the CEO's Challenge. The Citi Business Olympics is the largest corporate sport event featuring various companies competing in various sports. One of the highlights of the event is the CEO's Challenge, where CEOs from participating companies compete against each other. Blue Rose Limited is eager to secure victory in this prestigious competition. The Citi Business Olympics 2023 is scheduled for September 30 at the Eden Heights Sports Complex in Waja, powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM.
This year, we are coming fully.
Okay.
We are not just coming to participate. We are coming for the trophies.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We are coming for everything.
That's interesting. Well, it's your anniversary, so you might as well walk away with some goodies.
Of course. And the most interesting thing is, when it comes to Scrabble, our CEO, that's Mr. Eric Ebuakwa, is the best.
Really?
Nobody has been able to beat him to Scrabble. So
Really?
he said, I should tell those coming that if you are coming for Scrabble, please don't come. Because he has already won that particular prize already. He has already won it. So it will be better for those coming that they shouldn't even come at all. They shouldn't even come at all. Because we have won everything. We have won everything.
But talking about games, what games do you play and what games do you think you're going to be participating in?
Okay, so the first thing is Scrabble. 2, draft, video games. There is soccer, there is volleyball, there is lime and spoon.
Only you can do all these things.
For me, what I'm doing will be soccer, volleyball, lime and spoon. By looking at my muscles, I can't do the tug of war. So, but my boss, that's our CEO, will be doing the Scrabble. Because he's the best, the whole Central region. Let me say the whole Ghana. He's the best. Nobody, so he's the best CEO in terms of Scrabble.
I'll be looking out for him.
Of course.
Jones Osei is the head of sales and marketing at Blue Rose Limited. Now, the City Business Olympics 2023 is proudly sponsored by Lozati Lozenges from Unicom Chemist Limited, EK Brand Consult, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, Hollard Insurance, Volta Ghana Limited, Fun Yogo, and Universal Motors. Now, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, has once again reiterated its calls to the Ministry of Education and the Ghana Education Service to reset the academic calendar to the trimester system. The teacher union explains that the increase in student population coupled with the extension in teaching periods is stressing teachers and management of second cycle institutions. Speaking at a press conference, President of NAGRAT, Angel Kabonu, advises the ministry to act on their request as a matter of urgency.
It has been some 7 years ago that the government instituted and initiated the free senior high school program. Associated with the free senior high school is the introduction of the double track system. The reason why the double track was introduced, according to government, was for the system or the track system to take care of the growing numbers of students, because the facilities in the schools at that time could not bear the numbers. Government also promised us at that time that within 5 years, the double track system will be a thing of the past, where they will ask the Ghana Education Service Trust Fund to put up facilities and structures in the school to cater for the increased numbers.
You heard President of NAGRAT, Angel Kabonu.
Sky Girls has reiterated its commitment to ensure teenage girls in Ghana have access to education. Speaking at the Stakeholder Engagement Forum for people who engaged in girl power empowerment initiatives to incorporate issues of adolescent reproductive health, financial inclusion, science and technology, engineering and mathematics, and career choices that matter to teenage girls, Programs Manager for Sky Girls Ghana, Yab Watkins, said her outfit will continue to nurture young girls through mentorship.
It's one magazine that you're seeing, and it translates to one reader. But one magazine, one reader means that one girl has been impacted with knowledge. Now, if this one girl has one friend, 2 friends, 5 friends, this translates into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of that single magazine that has been produced. That translates into multiple effects of the impact that we're having through Sky. That's why we were vetted as cost-effective by the World Health Organization.
Yab Watin is Programs Manager for Sky Girls Ghana.
And that's it for the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. I'm Wilma Obobi-Sakoman, and I did this with
Hawa Idrisi Mustafa.
Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News. Many thanks for doing the listening, and do have a good afternoon.